Hey everybody, how you guys doing today? It's Tech Sergeant T. I hope you're all doing well. It's kind of a cool but sunny day today. You remember your first car? In my generation, we got as close as we could to our 16th birthday, because that's when we got our licenses. For me, that was 1962, so that was yeah, it was a while ago, I'll say. But the first car that I had was actually a car that my father had owned. It was a 1951 Studebaker. That was not a fast car, not a fancy car. The thing was geared so low, though, I think if you really needed to, you could probably climb a tree with it. That was something else. But unfortunately, it had some engine problems, and it would take more to fix it than it would to buy another car. I think I only paid about 75 bucks for my first car at the time. It was a 1952 Dodge, a very unusual car, kind of a weird car actually. The engine was an inline flathead 6, so all the spark plugs were run along the top. Working on that car one time, it almost killed me, but that's another story. Talk about it another time. The other thing that was kind of unusual about it was the transmission. You know, you've heard of 3 on the tree, which is a 3-speed standard transmission with the gear shift lever on the steering column. Well, this was a 4 on the tree, but an unusual configuration, because pull it down into first gear, get going, and push the clutch in and let it out, and we go into second gear. Then you get going a little faster, and you push in the clutch and put it up to the top, push it up to the top of the column, and it'd be in third gear. And then you get going, you know, your cruising speed, you push in the clutch and let it out, and you were in fourth gear. Probably more like an overdrive, but that was very unusual kind of transmission. Me and a buddy, we were out goofing off one day on a weekend, and we'd gone up onto a hillside there on the west side of the Salt Lake Valley, up by a big copper mine called Kennecott. And we're driving along this dirt road and come around this curve, and I was going a little too fast, and the car started to skid. The nose hit the embankment, and the car rolled slowly onto its side and then onto its top with the nose up against the embankment. The funny thing about it is, my buddy and I were still sitting side by side on the roof of the car, and I was on the left and he was on the right, just like, you know, we were trying to drive with the car upside down. Well, we clambered out the windows and realized the only way we were going to get that car flipped over was if we went and got his car. So we ran the couple of miles, which would probably kill me today. You know, lucky if I got to run to the end of this parking lot. But anyway, we got his car, and then we came back. The idea was to hook a cable onto my car from his car, and then just pull it back up on its wheels. Well, we hooked it all up, and when he got it hooked up, and I looked at it, and it didn't seem right, because he was hooking on the same side of my car as his car. I thought, how is he going to pull that over? I didn't say anything. He tried. It didn't work. So we thought we'll get on the other side of my car. Well, we pushed my car because it was on this kind of muddy dirt road. It slid pretty easy. But as it came around, the nose of the car went down. And as a result, it caved in the top of the car, busted out the windshield, really made a mess of it. And then he went, you know, he drove around me, and we turned my car back around. And then he hooked on the opposite side, which he'd already been hooked to, but that became, like I said, the opposite side. And then when he drove and started pulling, of course, then the car rolled over on its wheels. And I realized, dang, if I had pointed that out, that, you know, the way he was hooked up, it wasn't going to work, I would have saved the windshield, and I would have saved the top of the car. Well, it's still drivable. So I drove it back home, and really got in trouble then because I'd had an accident and we should have called the police. Also, we were on private property. That was a big mistake. So my dad had me call the police and they came over, and it was kind of funny because the policeman started filling out the accident report and he had this diagram of the car, you know, and he circled this part and then he circled that part. He looked at it again and circled that part one more time and he circled the whole car. So it was pretty well totaled. But I guess the moral of the story is that, you know, right now, a lot of times they'll say, if you see something, say something. Well, I think that applies to a lot of situations, not just dangerous ones. I've had several times when I probably should have spoken up about things and haven't. So if you see something, you know, you don't have to be mean about it or, you know, call people stupid or anything like that, or, you know, get confrontational. Just, you know, politely suggest maybe that you might want to reconsider what they're doing. Could save you a lot of trouble and maybe even some damage to your property if you do so. So, you know, speak up when you think it's necessary, and don't hold back just because you might be embarrassed or you think that they're going to make fun of you or something like that. Might save yourself and other people some trouble. Well, I hope you all have a good day. Tech Sergeant T signing up for now, and hopefully we'll talk again later. Bye.